This is your girl, Rene, and it is This Week in Black. See you in 30 seconds. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your girl, Rene. I hope that you're doing well, and this is This Week in Black. Last time that I saw y'all, we talked about an array of topics, and I appreciate everyone that tuned in, that shared, and all of that great things. We got to make sure that we're sharing each other's work, sharing each other's endeavors, our businesses, and things like that, because if we're not promoting us, who's going to promote us? So we should definitely be our biggest promoters, supporters, and things like that. So, how was your week? I hope that it was good. As you can see, I am posting this on a different day and at a different time. I'm trying to see exactly which day and time is the best. Now, it's seeming like Sunday, I got the most interaction. So, I'm thinking we're going to lean towards Sunday, but we're still going to do a little bit of an experiment and see which day works the best. You let me know as the viewers which time and days work the best. Today, we're going to do like a little lunchtime breakdown. So I just want to see the numbers and see how that's doing. If this is your first time here, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm your girl, Rene, and this is This Week in Black. This show is for us. It's about what we got going on, our businesses, our health, our achievements, things we need to work on, community building, just everything us, okay? And that's all right. It's okay for us to have these spaces for us. We're going to actually touch on a subject that is talking about a woman, a teacher that created a space for us, and it created such an uproar. Well, since I'm there, let's elaborate on that. At times when we do things for ourselves, collectives, initiatives, organizations and things like that, it can make others mad that don't look like us. And I don't think that they take the time to realize that we have to create these extra things and extra spaces for ourselves because of what happened in the past. We don't want to live in the past. We're definitely not victims. And being not a victim is being able to know what happened, see the results from it, and do something about it. That's what these organizations and things like that come into play. Promoting our businesses, just spending our money with each other, things like that. The simple things that we should be able to do without a problem. It seems like it always pisses America off. Everybody else can do it. The Jewish have their place. The little Italy's and Chinatowns and things like that. But when we try to do it, it's such a big problem and an uproar. Now, depending on who you ask, it will tell you what they think the problem is. Some will say because they don't want to lose our money in their market. We got a lot of money to spend and we definitely be spending it. Our buying power is phenomenal. And, but I think that they don't realize that we can still buy things and interact and all of that stuff and still concentrate on our own. There's nothing wrong with that. We know there's nothing wrong with that. So we're going to continue. To do that. So how y'all doing? How was y'all week? It's a lot of things that's been going on in our world. So we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about a few things. So one of the things I want to bring up first is about that teacher that I was telling you about that is under fire. Okay. She has really ticked a few people off. Let's get into it. So this is the teacher right here. Okay. White parents upset after former teacher launches Black Math Genius program. So let's go to the direct quote. We got this via blacknews.com. We definitely appreciate the work that they're doing. Go ahead and make sure you add them. I'm going to read a snippet of a quote, okay? Meet Lamilde Asada Moore, a former educator and high school principal who has launched the Black Math Genius, BMG, program to address the dismal mathematic proficiency among Black students that continue to plague this country. It was never intended to be a threat to white people. It was and will always be about black students and their success. The program is based on an African centered pedology. I don't know how to say that. Please excuse me. That puts black students at the center of learning by teaching students the true origins of mathematics, Africa, by highlighting the many contributions by black people to STEM, that's STEM fields, and by building the mathematical confidence of black students by showing them what is possible. So there are some people that will be like, well, why do you need this? Why must it be exclusion? Because it says, there's a drastic difference when it comes to mathematics in the black community. So this woman is doing something about it. There's nothing wrong with that. She done pissed some people off, and that's all right. We still got to do what we got to do. Sometimes what we got to do for ourselves, it's not going to make everybody happy, but it's about doing what you got to do for us. So that's it right there. So this wasn't intended to be a woman's show, but it ended up being very woman heavy because when I started to look at the achievements that I was bringing up for this week, it's a bunch of women and girls that are out there doing that thing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go with that. So I'm gonna touch on some subjects that affect black women. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to start with the adults. Let's see. Okay, I thought this was really cool. All right, representation matters. We have a founder. Okay, she creates black dolls with real human hair that can be washed, braided, and styled. Now, how cool is that? I know that all the little girls that are listening to this, we were once little girls, and we definitely it was limited to what we could do to our doll's hair. So I think it's really cool that she actually invented something that has real hair that gives little girls the opportunity to have dolls that have hair like them, and they can, style them and wash them and make a whole event of it. Sometimes for our young girls, wash day can be pretty scary. So you always need a little buddy. So I think that was really cute. Let me tell you a little bit about that. We have Black and Brown Success. Remember, I told you that you should add them. We got the news from them. That is definitely a good platform to add to find out what's going on. All right. We have Yalista Jean Charles, the founder and CEO of Healthy Root Dolls. You can follow her on Instagram under Healthy Roots Dolls, a toy company that creates black and brown dolls with facial features, skin tones, and realistic curly hair that can be styled in any way. Okay, so she definitely did that. We want to appreciate her for being innovative and doing something for our little girls. I seen a video not too long by a young lady named Keita. She's an influencer. And she talked about how black girls didn't get to, jump and enjoy the pool. I know oftentimes I couldn't get in the pool and do activities, get my hair wet because of my hair. They didn't want to mess it up. And she was like, go ahead and get in that pool, little girl. I'll do your hair later. And that's something important to think about. You know, we've come a long way when it comes to knowing how to take care of hair when you're getting it wet and conditioning it and all of that. So don't let your little girl sit out because you don't want to mess the hair up. Now, if you just got them a silk press, I can understand. But you know what I mean? It's okay. Let your baby go ahead and jump into that water. So let's see what else. Okay, we got a black bank. Now, let me tell you about this sister right here. Okay, meet Kiko Davis, America's only black female bank owner. She look bossy too. Go ahead, girl. Let me tell you a little bit about her. All right, meet Kiko Davis, the majority owner and stockholder of Detroit-based First Independence Bank, one of the top 10 largest owned banks in the United States. This makes her the only black woman in the country who owns a bank, okay? Um, let's see, during a 2018 interview with Rolling Out, she said what makes her unique as an African American female leader is her ability to genuinely connect with people and inspire the culture of synergy. This is a direct quote from her. It's a God given talent that comes naturally. People tend to lend the very best of themselves when they feel leaders are passionate about them and their environment. Okay, so you go, girl. We got this courtesy of State versus Us. Another one that I definitely said that you need to add on Instagram. That's the tag, and she's a black entrepreneur that made this magazine. Okay, so that falls right in line. You go ahead, girl. All right, let's see who we have next. Oh, now this is really cool. So we got a black owned construction company owned by all women, okay? And they have been in the industry for 15 years, okay? Kudos to them. They are definitely doing their things, okay? Founder of the largest black woman owned construction firm celebrates 15 years in the industry. Let's learn a little bit about them. All right, Misha Shea Ivy, the founder of a black woman owned and Chicago based construction firm called Pink Hard Hats with a Z on the end construction, which aims to break barriers in the male dominated industry while providing the best service to all its customers. In her 15 years of experience in the construction and real estate industry, Ivy says she has often only seen men in the field. In fact, studies show women make under 11% of construction workers. Okay, so they got a whole company. Okay, they're looking beautiful while they do it. They got their pink hard hats. So definitely congratulations to them for 15 years. Now this one is definitely going to get y'all attention because it got mine. Okay, meet the black queen that formulated a hair growth oil that actually works. Now, how many of us are suffering from, just baldness in different parts of our hair? It can be definitely hard to talk about when it comes to women. There's a lot of glory put on our hair, especially black women. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that can come along with that, a lot of trauma. And growing your hair can be difficult. It can be hard to talk about. Well, this sister, look what she got going on. Okay, let's talk about her. We got this from Black and Brown Success as well. So, okay, number one bestseller, the Miracle Hair Growth Oil. Okay, it's growing back edges, regrowing bald spots, and rapidly increasing hair growth as little as 5 days. Okay, if you want to connect with her and check out her hair care products, I'm definitely going to go over there. I say you might want to try it out too. I'll do a review on it if I get some, okay? You can add her on Instagram at Maximize YHG. So that's Maximize YHG. She is growing people's hair back. You go ahead. All right, so we got some geniuses in the building, okay? Dr. Tamia Potter just made history. Vanderbilt's first ever black woman neurosurgeon residence in 148 years. As you can imagine, she is very excited. Her family is excited with her. She is doing her thing. Much kudos to her. You better go, girl. Go ahead and get that good success. You know what I mean? Neurosurgeon is something that another field that we're not heavily in. All right. And she said, I'm doing that. And there she go. So shout out to her. Let's see what else we have here as adults. Okay. All right. So this is a company venture. All right. We got a black owned plant based brand, everything legendary. Closed a distribution deal with Publix. Okay. And they will be in almost 1,000 stores. Y'all better go. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about them. Demita Jones and Chef Jamoke Jackson are the founders of Go Legendary. You can add them on Instagram at Go_legendary, a black owned plant based burger company that is making waves in the food industry. Okay, they doing their thing. They got their Publix deal. Much success to them. All right. Y'all get it. And we got that from Black and Brown Success as well. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. So let's get into our youngsters. Okay. She's 21. She's still a baby. Okay. So we got Kiki Palmer. Actually, I'm going to do that one last because I want to go into something about autism that we're going to talk about. So let's go ahead and start with this princess. All right. We got 8-year-old becomes the youngest black female to go undefeated in the national chess competition. You better go ahead, little baby. Let's find out a little more about her. Okay. Her name is Diamond Shakur, okay, who in 2009, at the age of 8, became the youngest African American female to go undefeated in the chess national competition. All right. She has since played in more than 250 tournaments and is a 7-time national champion. All right. She is from Columbus, Ohio, and she learned the games at an Urban Kings and Queens Chess Academy. Okay, so that goes to show you that that matters, all right? They had something in play that taught the kids how to play chess, and look at her. She learned that, and she never looked back. So you go ahead, little baby. Go ahead, Diamond. Let's get into this 12-year-old, another genius, okay? We got a 12-year-old black girl becomes Canada's youngest person to graduate college. All right? Images you won't see on TV. Oh, excuse me. Images you won't see on TV is where we get that from. You definitely want to add them on Instagram. Now, there she go. Let's get into her. She is the youngest one, and she is from Canada. You go, girl. All right, her name is... Everybody got some interesting names today. Please excuse me if I chop your names up. I definitely don't mean to do that, okay? We have Anthea Grace Patricia Dennis, okay? Her name is Command. She said, don't play with me. The youngest person to ever graduate from college in Canada. At just 12 years old, she has accomplished an incredible feat by earning her bachelor's degree in biomedical science. Okay, she says she's not playing. From the University of Ottawa. We can't wait to see what the future holds for this brilliant young woman. Okay, and we got that from images you won't see on TV on Instagram, and she is doing her thing. You better go ahead, girl. All right, we got a 17-year-old genius. Okay, the ladies is showing up today. The black and brown girls is not playing with y'all today, okay? 17-year-old genius completed a doctorate's program. She graduated high school at the age of 11. Let's get into knowing a little bit more about her. Now, this young lady's name, let's see here. It looks like it's Thessalonica, or Zul Embry, a teen prodigy with the IQ of 199, is a sought-after, influential role model for inspiring, mentoring, empowering others. She graduated high school at the age of 11, and she earned a bachelor's degree in psychology at the age of 14, an MBA at the age of 16, and is set to earn her PhD at 17 years old. She is also an author, and she has encouraged many with her 5 best-selling books covering topics from expediting the completion of college, securing justice, to financial investing. Okay? Now you got to check her out. She is doing her thing. Just 17 years old. We are proud of you. So now I want to go back to what I was going to talk about this young lady. Okay, Keke Palmer meeting with Alicia Thompson, 21-year-old entrepreneur with autism who owns her own nail school and beauty bar in Georgia. So we definitely want to give her a shout out, okay? Glad that she got to meet Keke Palmer and all of her accolades. She definitely deserves them. Autism is something that isn't often talked about in our community. And I have a video from a young lady that dives a little more into that she made personally about herself and how she feels about being left out. Something that bothered me, I'm going to keep it short because I want to keep this positive, is the comments that was under this post of people saying, oh, she doesn't have autism and this, that, and the other and things like that. And I want us to become more informed about what autism is, what the signs are, the different spectrums of it all, because not all autism looks alike. And I found out that statistically, when it comes to autism, our population is treated or is diagnosed much later in life, even though our numbers and getting it is the same. So I'm going to read you something that I found online from the National Library of Medicine about autism in the African American community. You can find this under National Library of Medicine, okay? It is estimated that autism spectrum disorder affects 1 in 500 live births per year. However, due to varying techniques for diagnosis and treatment, the disability remains a subject of debate. African Americans tend to suffer disproportionate rates of disability and disease when compared to other racial and ethnic groups due to this access to preventative and curative care. However, evidence demonstrates that although rates of diagnosis for autism occurs at the same rates in all racial groups, diagnosis in African American children occur later than in white children. As a result, African American children may require longer and more intensive intervention. Okay, in this article that I'm reading, it examines everything about autism, the diagnosis, treatment strategies, and things like that. But enough about the disease when it comes to us, and there is definitely something that we're missing. We're missing the mark when it comes to that. Excuse me. And the reason why I say that is I want to show you this video from a young lady. So let's give Alicia Thompson her kudos. You're doing your thing, girl. We're very proud of you. Much success and love. All right, so I want to show you this video from a young lady that has autism. I've reached out to her and asked for her permission to use her video because I wanted to make sure that it was okay. So I'm going to share it with you, and this is going to give you a first-hand account of what it's like being Black and autistic in America.
What's something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
The Black community and the autistic community fail me as a Black autistic person because everything is so one-sided, and I feel like I'm being left out as a Black autistic person. The Black community do not want to deal their own issue with ableism in the community, while the autistic community don't want to deal with the racism in the community. So leave me being an outsider feel frustrated because my marginalization never gonna get heard, and I feel frustrated. And I feel like neither community that I'm part of don't address it. And it made me like, where the fuck I belong? Because I feel lonely. Because no one, everyone talk about the issue, so I feel lonely. They fucking fail me. Miserably, they fucking fail me. As a Black autistic person, they fucking fail me. I did feel this.
It breaks my heart to hear her. She was very, very upset. And it's just to give us a little insight on what we might be missing. Autism is very real. Autism is real in our community. So if you think your child might have autism and they're young, look into it. You know, they said we're diagnosed later on in life. And when you're diagnosed later, they said it takes a lot more to assist. So we definitely want to make sure that we're not ignoring that. And we're just keeping an eye on what's going on with our babies and in our community. All right. I appreciate y'all very, very much. We're going to continue to get in it. Okay. We're going to talk more about some health. All right. We're definitely going to talk about health. And then we're just going to talk about some things that, you know, I noticed. See if we can spark a conversation and get some things going. All right. I'll see you in 30 seconds. Welcome back. Oh, I said welcome black. Ain't nothing wrong with that either, huh? But welcome back. I'm glad that y'all can make it. I appreciate y'all very, very much for still being here with me. If you are interested in getting on this show to talk about what's going on in your neighborhood, if you have a business that you would like promoted, if you would like to do some sponsorship, if you have a cause or a case that you want to get heard, okay, you can definitely reach out to us and I will have you on. Okay, you want to get involved? All you got to do is text 914-655-4993. Okay, that's 914-655-4993. And just text involved. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. And then we will connect and figure it out. All right. I want to keep it on the health tip. We're going to keep talking about health. And I want to talk about cancer. You know, cancer is something that can plague our community pretty heavy, different types of cancer. So one of the things that I learned that vitamin D deficiency is one of the things that doctors find is happening in people that have cancer. So I did run this clip last week, but I want to run it again because I think that it's very important. So just give a listen right quick.
90% of African Americans People, period.
Their vitamin D levels are low,
Are
and
low.
that's what fights cancer.
That's what fight cancer. And I sincerely believe that the reason that we have the increased cancer rates are going up, every type of cancer, particularly colon cancer. You're seeing that. When I first started my medical practice, nobody got colon cancer. Now everybody has colon cancer. They know a family member that has it, and people are dying from it. And it's been shown in multiple clinical trials that vitamin D therapy decreases your chance of colon cancer in men and women, breast cancer in women, and prostate cancer in men. And invariably, when I have a patient that has one of those diseases, I test their vitamin D level, and you can barely.
So you hear that, right? So vitamin D, a lot of times when people think about vitamin D, they immediately think about milk and dairy. And yes, that does have vitamin D, but guess what? We also get vitamin D from the sun. And you know the sun loves us. So get out there, get out in the sun, but make sure that you're protecting yourself. You definitely want to use sunscreen. I know we got a little extra protection, okay? We ain't going to burn up to a crisp. We ain't got certain problems, okay? We ain't got certain problems, but we still got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and protecting ourselves from the UV rays because they're very real. Okay. We might have a little extra time to be up out there, but we can definitely be affected. So get out there, get you some sun, get you some of that natural vitamin D. But I did look up some foods that are rich in vitamin D. So, because I don't really fool with dairy. Like milk is cool. I'll eat it with cereal. I won't drink the milk. I'll dip my cookies in it, stuff like that. But I ain't just gonna drink no milk, and I'm not just gonna eat cheese like that. I don't like extra cheese. There's some people that love it. They got my cheese thing. Like, just give me how much cheese it needs. Okay. I knew I didn't really need cheese when I don't need it on my nachos. Okay. So let's go and see some foods that are rich in vitamin D. All right, so you got egg yolk, you got salmon, sardines, tuna, cod liver oil, mushrooms, soy milk, orange juice, different cereals, oysters, shrimp, tofu. Some of the cereals they got. Let me see if they got some cereals. They ain't even list them. Let's see what it says about cereals. Cereals are considered the best breakfast, supported with reasonable amounts of essential vitamins. Okay, so if you notice, like on cereal boxes, it is say like in fortified with vitamin D and different stuff like that. So those are the ones that you want to go and look for. All right, let's see. We got egg yolks. We got fatty fish. Fatty fish such as sardines, mackerel, and trout are some foods that has vitamin D. Okay. Cod liver oil. It tastes like, but it'll give you some vitamin D. Pork. We're gonna move on. That's up to you. Say eat some. It's other things to eat besides pork, but it's on the list. Oysters, yogurt. Okay, that's a dairy. I'm not really dairy. Don't really like me like that. Like ice cream will punch me in the gut. Milk will punch me in the gut. I can't get away with yogurt though. So if you like yogurt, you try yogurt out. Tuna. Okay, most people like canned tuna fish or tuna steaks. They have tuna steaks that you can buy. Salmon, shrimp. Okay, let's see for the vegetables. Okay, scrolling down. Mushrooms. You heard me say that. Spinach. Okay, now there's more. We're eating a lot more spinach nowadays. So that might not be hard. But let me tell you what I learned about spinach. So spinach has an enzyme in it that tries to fight you back and not be broken down, right? So to get the health benefits from spinach, like the vitamins, they say to cook it a little bit. Ain't that something? And it destroys that Amazon or whatever it is, so your body can get those vitamins. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, we got oranges. We got bananas. Let's see if we can find us another list because I know it's a lot more vitamin D. Okay, before we do that, let's look at what it says about how to notice if your body is vitamin D deficient. Okay, painful bones, fatigue, reduced endurance, low moods, problems sleeping well. You got a sweaty head. You losing hair. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? Let's keep going. Hold on, losing hair. Now they trying to show me all these things for vitamins. See how they be in our business? I didn't ask about no vitamins. Now all of a sudden, all this stuff for vitamins want to pop up. They be listening. Stay out my business. Okay. Losing hair. Your wounds heal slowly. I hope you don't have any wounds, but that's a sign. Dizziness. Heart problems. If you are deficient in vitamin D, it can lead to a number of problems with your heart. Wow. I didn't know that. Weight gain. Okay. Reoccurring infections. Reduce cognitive functions. Yikes. Cognitive functions is in your brain. Is like, are you foggy and stuff? Excuse me for hitting the thing. So those are some signs. Wow, that's pretty scary, right? Let's see. Let me see if I can find them some more foods that have vitamin D in them. Looking, looking, looking. Let's see what this one says. Okay, this pretty much has the same thing. This has a few other things. Okay, they have swordfish. I've never ate that. Um, beef liver. If you want to go ahead and take that, of course, it has the sun. So those are some of the foods that you can eat. Now, let me tell you some of the conditions that can come from prolonged vitamin D deficiency. Rickets, a condition in infants and children of soft bones and skeletal deformities caused by failure of bone tissue to harden. Okay. You can become toxic, anorexia, weight loss, irregular heartbeat. Wow. It's pretty scary stuff. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're intaking your vitamin D. So, one of the things that you can get done at the doctor to find out what's going on with you is you can get like a screening of all your levels, and they'll check your potassium, they'll check your vitamin D, your vitamin A, they'll check your iron and everything. And I think it's something really good to have if you haven't had it in a while, and if you can afford to get it once a week, once a year. Okay, you definitely want to check that out. All right. So now I want to talk a little bit about, well, before I get into that, let me show you this clip again, something that I found really interesting. Since we were talking about different fruits and vegetables, we're going to go right into this.
Know that the number on your fruit in the supermarket actually indicates whether or not the fruit was sprayed with pesticides versus if it is fully organic. If the number has 4 digits and begins with a 4 or a 3, that means it's been conventionally grown with the use of pesticides. If it begins with a 9 and is 5 digits long, that means it's been organically grown. A 5-digit code starting with an 8 means that the produce has been genetically modified, but labeling is not mandatory. You guys know that the number on your fruit in the supermarket actually indicates whether or not the fruit was sprayed with pesticides versus if it is fully organic. If the number has 4 digits and begins with a 4 or a 3, that means it's been conventionally grown with the use of pesticides. If it begins with a 9 and is 5 digits long, that means it's been organically grown. A 5-digit code starting with an 8 means that the produce has been genetically modified, but labeling is not mandatory.
I wanted to show that twice to make sure that you had the ability to catch it. You might not have a pen readily available. So I wanted to make sure that you got that information. I thought that was pretty cool to find out those different things. We all see those numbers and not really quite sure what they are. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. So speaking on foods, okay, we're going to talk about some more health things. So let's get into this list right here. All right, these are some facts about, Black women's health. So this is from Endo_Black on Instagram. That's Endo, ENDO_Black. All right, so here are some facts. African Americans are 50% less likely to receive pain medication than Caucasians. For some reason, doctors think that we just don't feel pain the same. Very odd indeed. African American women are less likely to receive evidence-based care than white women for endometrial cancer. That's in your uterus. Okay, that's that area. African American women are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth than Caucasian women. And in this study, I found out that I read it doesn't matter what walk of life she's from. She could be rich and she still has that 3 times more likely to die than, say, a white homeless woman. Yes, crazy, isn't it? 50% of Caucasian medical trainees believe that African Americans have less sensitivity nerve endings than white people. Where's that coming from? I think I don't know. That's coming out of their ass. Okay, I don't know where that's coming from, and it's definitely not being fixed because we're still having issues. So it's a disconnect there. All right, estimated 26% of African American women have fibroid. Excuse me, between the ages of 18 and 30, compared with 7% of white women. Now, talking about fibroids, I know that many of you have probably seen the different things that have been coming up that's talking about how perms, which is hair relaxers, are a cause of fibroids. Also, it's saying that products that are geared towards Black women that have paraben, and different things like that are also causing these uterine problems. Now, that's something I want you ladies to make sure that you're checking your labels. You don't want to have anything with paraffins. You want to be very mindful. You can definitely do a Google search and find out the different things that they're saying that are causing fibroids so you can protect yourself, okay? Um, Fibroids are messing up people's lives. They do you bad. It'll have you bleeding to death. It can kill you, giving you anemia from heavy periods. It can debilitate your life to where it's hard for you to work, hard for you to maintain just a life sitting up in bed. Some people with fibroids are bedridden. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something that you want to look into. So those are some statistics. If you think you have fibroids, you definitely should check it out. Some of the symptoms of fibroids is you have a lot of pain during your menstrual cycles, and you can have pain even when you're not on your cycle. And they're also very heavy to the point where you feel weak. You might end up getting anemia. You'll be cold all the time. You can have sweats. You can have itching. It's really messed up, man. So definitely want to make sure you see about yourself. So, since we're talking about the uterus and pregnancy, I want to talk about some more statistics, okay? We got this from Script News. Let me move the banner off the bottom so you can see the whole thing here. All right, why do Black women have, the highest mortality rates? So let's do a little more into that. Let's talk about it, okay? A recent investigation found that Black women in the U.S. were 3 times more likely to die while giving birth than white women. While there are various causes, some point to underlying systemic issues with the American healthcare industry. Okay, you can definitely learn more about that by going to Google or going to Script News where they talk about it. But um, one of the things that I've seen that women that get doulas drastically change. Numbers drastically change. It's something about that. I don't know if it's somebody being in the room that's got your back, somebody that can be like, hey, what is that? Hey, that's not right. I don't know what it is. But those doulas are helping save mothers and their babies. So a lot of places have doulas. I know in Delaware there's a doula program. I believe there's one in Philly as well. I'm sure that there's a lot more. Look into it. If you're pregnant, look into getting you a doula or a midwife. Check out your options, okay? And find out there's different things. You don't have to detach the placenta. You can wait till all that blood and all those nutrients and all those stem cells leave the placenta and go into your baby. You have rights. Don't think that you don't have any. And it can be quite hard. I've seen an incident not too long ago where a woman was being given a hard time about how she wanted to have her care. I'm not even sure if she's got her children back. We're going to definitely make sure we look into that. But we got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves, that we're informed, check out the things that we got that can assist us because there's some real things. And let me tell you something that I learned about about dates that I was really cool. Now they look really off-putting, right? You would think that these are some type of bugs or something, but they're actually not. Okay, they're dates. We're going to talk to you about them. A study reported by the National Institute of Health in 2011 found that women that consume six date fruits, those fruits right there, a day for 4 weeks prior to delivery, had a higher cervical dilation upon admission to the hospital, a reduced need for induction and medical interventions. All right. And also had, hold on, let me get on point here. Okay. And also had shorter labor. Okay. Um, Now, this is a quick note. If you have diabetes, you want to talk to your doctor first because dates are high in sugar and carbs. So you want to be mindful of that. But it's saying that it's helping change people's lives when they get to the hospital. So you might want to try that out. Some dates. I know they look off-putting. Some people say they're nasty. I like dates personally. I'm sure they probably got a few recipes that might help them go down a little easier. But that might be something that you want to look into, especially if you've had complications in the past. But of course, you want to make sure that you do your research. Okay. I want to do a little quick commercial on a black app that I checked out, staying in the spirit of women and in our health. Y'all check this out, okay?
Walk up in this bitch like top I say. She over here talking about Napule. I'm so west, this should be my last name. Ay, I'm looking for a cutie, someone who won't betray. Yeah, and my love goes deep. If I say I love you, then this shit is what I mean. I see you getting wetter through your jock moose jeans. My forever is forever, can't let nothing come between. Diamonds in my ear, put your wifey in the trance. After we kick it, I'ma turn it to a fan. Can't respect a nigga if that's something he demand. I'm loyal to my niggas and I'm loyal to my fam. Y'all split your sides like walk up in this bitch.
I'm gonna play that again so you can check it out. It went pretty quick, right? You can follow her on Instagram though under paging dot doctor dot.
Walk up in this bitch like top I say. She over here talking about Napule. I'm so west, this should be my last name. Ay, I'm looking for a cutie, someone who won't betray. Yeah, and my love goes deep. If I say I love you, then this shit is what I mean. I see you getting wetter through your jock moose jeans. My forever is forever, can't let nothing come between. Diamonds in my ear, put your wifey in the trance. After we kick it, I'ma turn it to a fan. Can't respect a nigga if that's something he demand. I'm loyal to my niggas and I'm loyal to my fam. Y'all split your sides like walk up in this bitch.
You can find her under paging dot doctor. That's doctor dot Dre. Okay, you see me moving, right? We know we love us some music. We need to give us a beat, and we in there. Okay, um, but that concludes our show for this week. We got to celebrate some black girls. We got to celebrate some black women that are doing their thing, and we got to talk about our health. Okay, staying on top of our health is very important. I want y'all to definitely check out the things when it comes to autism in our community. We're being diagnosed late, so that means that we got to pick up the slack on that. Check it out. One thing I do want to talk about before I let y'all go is something that came on my heart. Something, I always will appeal to myself and share things from my life. So, when I be online and I'm creating content and I'm posting things and resharing, I be in my lane. I'm like, shoo, 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 shoo. I'm not really paying attention who's paying attention to me all the time because I'm just putting it out there. I'm like, I'm hoping somebody see it. I use my hashtags and all of that kind of stuff. Um, the other day I slowed down and I noticed that some people that like other people's stuff all the time, they'll never like my stuff. For a moment, it didn't last long, but for a moment, it kind of hurt my feelings and it made me wonder, like, man, why are they not sharing my stuff? Or like, man, why they not support me? It made me a little blue, you know what I mean? But of course, you bounce back and you have to focus on who does support you and focus on your mission. Where when you're in this line of work, and that means social activism and things like that, your mission isn't for people to like you for real. Your mission is to be likable to a certain extent, but to get the information out there. Your mission is to help people. Your mission is to make changes. So you got to keep that into perspective, right? But I want you to be so focused on your mission, so focused on your destiny, so focused on what you're trying to do, leading from your heart, that you have few to little to no moments to where you're internalizing someone not sharing your stuff, or that you care. And I know it's easier said than done, okay? Because we're human beings, we got feelings, and it can be real, But focus on what you're trying to do, and focus on giving from your heart, and focus on being a good person, and focus on sharing knowledge, and focus on doing better, and focus on teaching what you're supposed to be doing. Everything that's for you, you're going to get it. Everything, I promise. It's going to be some hard times. It's going to be some times where you're going to want to throw everything in the air. It's going to be times you're going to fall out on the floor. It's going to be times where you're not going to be invited. Yeah, it's going to be times that people talk about you and you ain't did nothing. It's going to be times that you did do something and people are going to talk about it, and it's going to hurt your feelings still. You got to be so focused on your mission and your destiny and your love and what you got going on that you don't even notice who don't fool with you, that you don't even notice who's not inviting you, that you don't even notice who's not sharing your stuff. Now, it might take a little minute to get used to, but you got to fortify yourself. I believe you got it. Okay. I hope that y'all have an amazing week. Please drop something below and let me know what you think of this week's show. Let me know what day of the week you think is best, and times and dates. I appreciate you very, very much. Again, if you want to connect with me, you definitely can. All you got to do is text 914-655-4993. Okay, and stay involved, and we're going to figure it out. We're going to see what you're trying to do. If you got a business, if there's something going on in your hood, if something's going on with a loved one that's behind the G wall, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, whatever you got going on, if you're Black and you want to put it out there and it's positive, I definitely invite you to come. Okay, if you would like to sponsor me, we'll love that too. If not, we still gonna keep doing what we do. All right, I appreciate you all. Make sure that you loving each other. All right, and I will see you next week. Since I big up the women, okay, girl power this week. I'm gonna focus on our men next week. They definitely deserve love. They don't get all the love that they're supposed to get, so we're gonna get to them.